Hi, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. Let's discuss DUI cases. First, please act responsible. Think about the consequences of impaired driving. We are responsible for our actions, but must consider the safety of others. If you consume alcoholic beverages and drive, you should know the following.
Come on, Roger P. Foley. When you need him, Roger P. Foley. Legal problem, Roger P. Foley.
If a police officer activates his overhead lights, the first thing that you should do is slow your vehicle and activate your right turn signal. This lets the officer know that you're aware of his presence. Slowly move your vehicle to the furthest right-hand lane, preferably a shoulder, so you can stop in a safe place that doesn't affect other traffic. Once stopped, place your vehicle in park, roll down your window, and place your hands on the steering wheel, waiting for the officer to direct you. When the officer approaches your vehicle, he's usually going to request documents, license, registration, insurance. Prior to moving your hands from the steering wheel, ask the officer for permission. Think about where those items are. Are they in your wallet? Are they in your purse? Are they in the center console? Think about it and then say, "Officer, I'd like to retrieve those documents. They are in this location. May I get them?" The reason you want to ask for permission is so you don't scare or alarm the officer. He doesn't know you from Adam, so you want to do everything safely to protect you and the officer. After receiving permission from the police officer to acquire your documents, he's going to begin asking you questions. These are called divided attention tasks. He may ask you, "Where are you going? Where are you coming from? Have you had anything to drink this evening?" By law, you are not required to answer these questions. It's your choice whether or not to ignore those questions. Ignoring those questions will not harm your case. You decide. If you choose not to answer the officer's questions, he may become upset, he may become more aggressive, and he may ask you out of the vehicle. Keep in mind, not answering the questions does not interfere with your case, if you have a case. What it does is gives the officer less ammunition in a criminal DUI trial. It's your choice whether or not to answer questions. If you answer questions, maybe he will allege that your speech is slurred or that you mumbled your words. You decide what's best for you. If the police officer asks you to exit your vehicle, do so. Do not sit in the car, do not resist, do not tell him he doesn't have probable cause. Follow his direction and exit the vehicle. While you're exiting the vehicle, he's going to be looking for signs of impairment. Are you using the door to hold yourself up? Did you forget to take your seatbelt off? That's what he's looking for. Take your seatbelt off, open the car door, exit the vehicle without using the door for balance. Upon exiting the vehicle, the officer may pat you down. He has the right to do that for officer safety to ensure you don't have any weapons. After he does that, he's going to ask you to move from the side of the vehicle to another location. During that time, he's going to be watching the way you walk to see if you're walking steady. He's also going to look to see if, as you exit the vehicle and walk alongside the vehicle, whether or not you use the car for balance. Don't do those things. Those are observations consistent with impairment. The officer is now going to tell you that he has made observations consistent with impairment. He's then going to he's going to ask you whether or not you would like to perform the sobriety exercises to, quote, dispel his belief that you're impaired. It is your choice, ladies and gentlemen, to accept to do those exercises or to decline those exercises. If you do the exercises and you don't do them well, that will be used against you in a court of law. If you decline to do the exercises, sure, you're going to be arrested. The police officer is going to say, based on his observations of slurred speech and flushed face and bloodshot eyes, that he believed your normal faculties were impaired. The police officer is now putting handcuffs on you. He's telling you that you are under arrest for DUI. Whether you did the exercises or didn't do the exercises, that's irrelevant. He's now going to place you in the back of the police car, take you to the jail. During this time, do not speak at all. Do not ask questions. Simply be quiet. This is not a time to have conversation, and Keep your eyes open. This is not nap time. Everything that is being observed will be used against you. So again, be quiet. Keep your mouth shut. Go to the jail. The officer has now taken you to the jail or the BAT facility. The BAT facility is just a fancy way for breath alcohol testing. They're taking you to the Intoxilizer 8000. It's a machine, and they're going to offer you the ability to take a breath test. Guess what? Even if you pass the breath test, you're still held for DUI. If you pass the breath test, they're going to ask you to do a urine test to make sure that you don't have any drugs in your system. Even if you have no drugs in your system, guess what? You're still arrested. You're still charged with DUI. It's your choice whether or not you want to give a breath test at the facility. Regardless, you must sit for a minimum of 8 hours on a DUI arrest. If you decide to give a breath sample and that breath sample reads 0.08 or higher, the Department of Motor Vehicle will automatically suspend your license. Department of Motor Vehicle is a separate action than that of the criminal court. So you'll have one action in the Department of Motor Vehicle and one case against you in the criminal court. They're independent of one another. But just know, if you blow 0.08 or higher, your right to drive a motor vehicle will automatically be suspended. There is a hearing that you can do, and there is a waiver for that hearing we'll talk about later. If your breath sample is less than 0.08, the officer will then request a urine sample to determine if you have drugs in your system. If you decline to give a breath sample, the police officer is required to read you something called implied consent. Implied consent simply notifies you that if this is your first refusal, that your license will be suspended by the Department of Motor Vehicle for 1 year. If this is a second or subsequent refusal, then your license will be suspended for a period of 18 months. What happens at Department of Motor Vehicle is separate and apart from what happens in a criminal court. They are independent of one another. Implied consent is required by law. Whether or not you refuse or consent to give a breath test, they are now going to ask you questions. They're going to read you your Miranda rights, and they're going to ask you questions about your name, your date of birth, your address, how long you've lived there, whether you're single, whether you're married. They're going to ask you, where were you coming from? Where were you going? They're going to ask you, what time was the last time you had a meal today? They're going to ask you if you drank, whether or not, how many drinks you had. These are all questions that I recommend that you don't answer. They already know your name. They already know your address because it's on your driver's license, and if they ran their tag, they have it. At this point, you just say, I respectfully decline to answer questions without an attorney. You will not be given an attorney at the jail. You'll be given an attorney after your arrest, after you bond out. At this point, you're now going to be booked into the jail. You're going to go through a processing phase. They're going to do quick medical analysis to make sure that you're healthy and it's safe for you to enter the jail. And they're going to do an inspection. They're going to check you again. They're going to check body cavities, and they're going to admit you into the jail. They're going to fingerprint you. They're going to take your photograph, and you are now an inmate in the county jail. The next morning, you will go in front of a magistrate judge to determine your bond. If you are arrested for DUI, regardless of how you did on the test, you must remain in the jail for a minimum of 8 hours. You are then going to be either given a scheduled bond, which is sort of just a bond that's assigned a number, usually $1,000 if you're in Palm Beach County, or you're going to see the magistrate judge within 24 hours. A judge is then going to set a bond for that hearing. Whatever that bond amount is, you're going to pay a bondsman 10% of that amount to get out of jail. That's the process. If it's a second or subsequent DUI, that bond can be higher, and you'll probably want to have an attorney at that bond hearing. If it's a first DUI, you may choose not to hire an attorney for the bond portion of the case. You're just getting out of jail for your recent DUI arrest. Now's the time to act. Contact a qualified, reputable attorney to help fight your DUI case. Don't wait. Don't delay. Within 10 days, you're going to have to contact the Department of Motor Vehicle to acquire your business purposes only license. You need an attorney. Contact an attorney immediately so they can come up with a case strategy and help you to get a business purposes license. Act quickly. When you exit the jail, you're going to be given a DUI citation. That citation really looks like a traffic ticket, but it's a citation for DUI. It acts as your driver's license for 10 days. They're also going to give you information that tells you that you must contact the Department of Motor Vehicle within 10 days to apply for your hardship license. What's a hardship license? It allows you to drive to and from school or work, allows you to go to the medical doctor, allows you to go to religious services, and any necessities of life, meaning you can go to the grocery store. It allows you to do that. You need to apply immediately. You only have 10 days to do it. In closing, be responsible. DUI can destroy lives. However, if you're arrested for DUI, do the research. Find a highly qualified DUI defense attorney to help you win your case. It's important. DUI has dire consequences. I hope my videos have helped you understand the DUI process. Again, be responsible, and thank you for watching my videos.
You got a charge, the situation tense. You need an attorney for criminal defense. Call RP4